unbelievableness of how a guy could just go from room to room killing people and not no one put up a struggle with anything else.
I mean,
that's the only thing. I think he just drugged them.
That's exactly what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I think he just drugged them, and he was in some drug, and he was doing a bunch of drugs too, LSD, heroin. Got sick and tired of his parents' rules. Got sick and tired of not being able to do what he wanted to do. Just went to killed his parents, and it was like, fuck it, I'll just kill everybody up in here, and killed his fucking family. He's in prison. He was where he deserves to be, and I hope he rots and dies there. Fuck him.
He got 6 consecutive 25 to lives. He's not getting out.
Yeah, he's
ever.
not getting out ever. And he should just shut the fuck up, take his punishment, and go to hell. Shit.
Well,
Nobody gives a fuck about him. You're not getting out, so shut up.
I can't believe he's still around.
But he's still gonna be around. He was pretty young when he did the murder, so
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 1970. I mean, yeah, it was like 40, almost 50 some odd years later. I mean, yeah, he's still gonna be around. So, yeah, that was the actual murders. Now let's go to the Lutz family, what they claim, them moving in, and what they claim that happened to them once they move in. So, the house at 112 Ocean Avenue had sat empty for 13 months after the DeFeo murders. In December 1975, George and Kathleen Lutz bought the home for what was considered to be a bargain price of $80,000.
By the way, how do you spin that as a real estate agent? When someone asks you what happened to the previous occupants of this home?
Well, you have to tell them the truth. There's truth in printing laws, I believe, that you have to tell them what if a murder had happened in a house, you have to tell them. If the house is haunted, you have to tell them. If the house is
what?
Yes, if the house is haunted, there's certain state laws in certain states. There's certain states that's not required, but in Illinois, if a house is reported to have been haunted, and it goes on
whom?
Reported to the authorities, reported to you tell the real estate agents, hey, I'm moving, why are you moving? Oh, my house is fucking haunted. I think my house is haunted. Or my apartment is haunted.
Do you have to call the Catholic Church? Who the hell are you even call? Is there like a Library of Congress for hauntings?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Let me get you the number. It's one person. She's old as fuck, and she can barely hear. No, you have to tell the real estate agent that if a house in the state of Illinois, if a house is reported to be haunted and it goes on sale, a house or apartment, you have to tell the prospective buyer that, well, the house might be haunted.
I'm gonna have to ask Stephanie if she's ever come across a house that was haunted in any of her listings. That's fine. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess if you have to tell the truth as a real estate agent.
Yes. You have to.
I guess you could embellish some of the truth, you know.
Yeah, just go over.
6 people's lives were expired
in this home. What do you mean expired?
They ran out of time.
They ran out of time? What do you mean ran out of time? They're no longer with us right now.
They're not here.
They're here. They're playing the big gig in the sky.
They went to upstate New York.
Yes. How did they get to upstate New York? Oh, it was a shotgun trip.
How the hell? Imagine that conversation. Okay. Yeah, so what happened here with the Lutz?
So, December 1975, George and Kathleen Lutz bought the home from what was considered to be bargain price $8,000. The 5-bedroom house was built in Dutch colonial style. It had a distinctive gabled roof. It also had a swimming pool and a boathouse. It was located on a canal.
And a garage. If you look at the pictures of the home, it's actually big.
Yes, it's very huge.
For like a normal middle class family home, it's pretty big. The previous family that expired, were they the original homeowner? Like where the
No. They bought the house in 1965.
Okay, so the home is much older than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swimming pool and a bathhouse located in Gore Canal. George and Kathy married in July 1975, and each had their own homes, but they wanted to start fresh on a new property. Kathy had 3 kids from a previous marriage: Daniel 9, Christopher 7, and Melissa Misty 5. They owned a crossbreed Labrador dog named Henry. During their first inspection of the house, the real estate broker told them about the DeFeo murders and asked if they would affect their decision.
Okay.
They discussed the matter and decided it was not a problem.
Okay.
So the Lutz family moves in on December 19, 1975. Much of the DeFeo family furniture was still in the house because it was included for $400 as part of the deal. I'm sorry. You can sell me a house that someone was murdered in, or a group of people were murdered in, but I'm not taking the fucking furniture. No, we're gonna get new furniture. Like, get this shit the fuck out of here.
Yeah, anything that still has, like, embedded in fabric, remnants of people that were murdered, dead skin cells, no thank you. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm buying that house, I'm repainting every single wall, redoing the floors, any surface that might have been touched by the previous residents is getting redone.
As I'm painting the walls, all of a sudden I see a little girl in a corner that's not by. I go, come play with me. Okay. A friend of George Lutz's learned about the history of the house and insisted to have it blessed. At the time, George was a non-practicing Methodist and had no experience of what this would entail. Kathy was a non-practicing Catholic and explained the process. George knew a Catholic priest named Father Ray who agreed to carry out the house blessing. And the book, the real life priest is named Father Ralph J. Pucherio, but is referred to as Father Mancito for privacy reasons in the book. So it's really, his name is Father Pucherio.
Okay.
But we're going to call him Father Mancito for the book purposes. And Father Mancito was a lawyer, judge of the Catholic court, and psychotherapist who lived in the local Sacred Heart Rectory. He arrived in Florida Blessing while George and Kathy were unpacking their belongings on the afternoon of December 18, 1975. He went into the building to carry out the rites. When he flicked the first holy water and began to pray, he heard a masculine voice demand that he get out. I didn't say that.
Who said that?
Who the fuck said that? Show yourself! When leaving the house, Father Mancito did not mention the incident to either George or Kathy. On December 24th, 1975, Father Mancito called George Lutz and advised him to stay out of the second floor room where he heard a mysterious voice. The former bedroom of Mark and John Matthew DeFeo. That Kathy planned to use as a sewing room, but the call was cut short by static. During his visit to the house, Father Mancito allegedly developed a high fever and blisters on his hands, similar to stigmata. At first, George and Kathy experienced nothing unusual in the house. Talking about their experiences subfrequently, they reported it was as if they were each living in a different home. In mid-January 1976, after another attempt at the house blessing by George and Kathy, they experienced what turned out to be their final night in the house. The Lutzes declined to give a full account of the events what took place on this occasion, describing them as too frightening. After getting in touch with Father Mancito, the Lutz decided to take some belongings and stay at Kathy's mother's home near Deer Park, New York, until they sorted out the problems with the home. They claimed the phenomenon followed them there, with the final scene in Anderson's book describing the greenish black slime climbing up the staircase towards them. On January 14, 1976, George and Kathy Lutz, with their children and their dog, left 112 Ocean Avenue, leaving all their possessions behind. The next day, the movers arrived to move the possessions and send them to the Lutzes. He reported no paranormal phenomena while inside the house. The book was written after Tam Monson, an editor at the publishing house Prentice Hall, introduced Kathy and George Lutz to the author Jay Addison. The Lutz did not work directly with Addison, but submitted around 45 hours of tape recording recollections, which were used as a basis for the book. Yeah.
Okay. So the book was written in 1977.
77.
Okay.
The movie came out in 1979, the first movie.
Okay.
We're going to get into some of what they reported in their haunting, but I want to get your thoughts real quick.
I mean, I'll reserve my opinions until we sort of read what the encounters were that they're describing in the book.
Okay. Here's some of the things that they described that were happening in the hauntings in the 28 days that they stayed there. George Lutz has said he would wake up at 3:15 every morning, which is around the time that Ronald carried out his murders. Ronald DeFeo carried out his murders. The Lutz family claimed to smell strange odors, see green slime oozing out of the walls and keyholes, and experiencing cold spots in certain areas of the home. I told you about the priest and her to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Some other paranormal activity. A nearby garage door opening and closing by itself. An invisible spirit knocking a knife down in the kitchen. A pig-like creature with red eyes staring down at George and his son Daniel from a window. Mainly the windows you see at the street, from the street, one of those windows.
Mm-hmm.
George walking up to Kathy, levitating off of their bed. Their sons Daniel and Christopher also levitating together off of their beds. About the red-headed pig, it was named Jody.
Okay.
And first it started off as an invisible friend to the daughter, Misty. And then eventually became a full-bloody apparition of a fucking pig with red eyes. A marching band would occasionally, a ghostly marching band would occasionally play throughout the house in the middle of the night.
Okay.
George would always feel cold in the home, even though, I mean, it was winter, but he would, no matter what, he turned the heat up to 92 degrees, he would still feel cold in the home. Those are some of them. We'll get to a few more later. What do you think so far?
Yeah, though, shit sounds scary. Especially the red-eyed pig.
Yeah.
So these are based off of like actual interviews they did with the family.
Yeah, the 45 hours of interviews that they had done for the book.
Okay.
Their last night they haven't gotten into, and they will never get into because they claimed it was too scary. And they don't want to relive it, but they claim they ran out of the house that night.
To never return?
To never return again.
Okay.
Which was just crazy.
So, I mean, it is a bit curious that, like, the story was... they moved into the house in 75, right?
Mm-hmm.
Story was reported in 76, and then 1 year later the book came out.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later the movie came out.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pretty quick turn of events, but doesn't mean that the family's lying.
Well, they're the only ones that insist that the stories are real is the Lutzes. Everyone else around them says, no, it's not real.
Okay.
I don't know. You tell me that a marching band, a ghostly